welcome back to Bookish Theories. In today's video, we'd like to talk about BTS's Proof and Yet to Come, focusing on a little breakdown and analysis of what we know so far to see what to expect from this much-awaited comeback. Proof is an album that will be released on June the 10th to celebrate the 9th anniversary of BTS's debut. This is an anthology that will include the 3 CDs consisting of different songs chosen by the members themselves, and the album will also include the 3 new tracks that we never heard before. One of these tracks is none other than Yet to Come, The Most Beautiful Moment, which is a title that, as many of you probably noticed, is a reference to the Most Beautiful Moments in Life series. Now, right off the bat, this is very exciting because this is an era that ARMY universally loved, but the millions of people never got the chance to actually experience. Using this past concept as a way to introduce us to the future of BTS is actually a clever way to summarize BTS's musical ideology, so before we get to the pre-promotions, I'm going to give you some key information on what this ideology is actually about. Now, according to the press release, The Proof is an anthology that reflects the members' thoughts and ideas on the past, present and future of BTS. This is a very important statement in and of itself, because in BTS's ongoing concept, time is divided into stages that influence each other in our journey through life. This is something that they explained in the VCR on Mama 2019, where in the narration, Namjoon said that all their time, that is, all their past, present and future, eventually exists within themselves. The dream of the future that they had in the past, for instance, led them on a path where this future would be no more dream and turn into reality. What they experienced in the past allowed them to become the men that they are in the present, and in the same way, what they decide to do in the present will affect the people that they'll become in the future. As you can see, in BTS's concept, time is not linear, it's a loop, so the journey to know ourselves and the world that surrounds us becomes an eternal journey that connects us to each other and the universe itself. This eternal path of growth and discovery is also the general premise of the Bangtan Universe storyline, but you can also find this concept applied to their music, with a great example being none other than On. Now, on a general level, we can say that On and Map of the Soul 7 represented the peak of BTS's career up to that point. Of course, releases like Beat, Dynamite, Bata, and Permission to Dance would consolidate that success, but in many respects, 7 was the moment where BTS essentially confronted themselves and realized that they made it. As they said in The Eternal, they finally got to heaven, so the dream that pushed them to start this journey to begin with was literally no more dream because it was now a reality. That cycle ended because they achieved their goal and came full circle, but the ending of that stage of their life also overlapped with the beginning of a new one, that is, with a new dream or most beautiful moment that is quite literally yet to come. This is where Proof comes into play, which is an album that will introduce us to this future that is yet to come by proving us what made them bulletproof to begin with. Bear in mind that that is a word that literally translates into Bangtan, so this anthology will show us the proof of who they are with songs that reflect each step of their journey to self-discovery. If we take a look at the logo, however, we already know that ARMY will play an essential role in this journey because the spelling of Proof includes the ARMY logo as well. This implies that above all, ARMY are the proof of BTS's impact both as musicians and as people, and this idea might also fall in line with something that Namjoon hinted at back in November. During Permission to Dance on stage, he said that ARMY are the proof of their existence, their value, their breath, their love, and peace. BTS were the bullet, but ARMY are the proof, so when put together, BTS and ARMY are truly bulletproof because one side can always rely on the other. The fact that the most beautiful moment is yet to come might imply that this is just the beginning of this connection and that much more is in store for both BTS and ARMY themselves. But if this is the case, then what is the most beautiful moment according to BTS? Well, in order to answer this question, we need to go back in time and take a look at how the most beautiful moments in life era actually began. You see, the original title of the series was actually inspired by a movie by Wong Kar-wai with the same name. In English, the title of the movie is translated as In the Mood for Love, but the actual translation of the phrase is roughly the same as what we came to know as the most beautiful moments in life. As Namjoon himself has explained, each character of the original title has a very specific meaning. Y is flower, Yang is shape, Yeon is here, while the last Wa was actually translated as shining. When put together, the first two characters translate into like a flower, while the next 2 refer to a period of time. Overall, HYYH refers to the most beautiful period of life that is like a flower. According to Namjoon, this is a moment of life that can be different according to the person. It can be youth, it can be a life-changing event, but no matter what it is, it's first and foremost a state of mind. It's the way that you perceive a specific moment that makes the moment special. So if you learn to see your entire life as special, then you would always be living in the most beautiful moment. As we all know, life can be very good but also very bad, but if we are able to accept those bad times as a part of the beautiful moment that life is, then we can flourish confident that life goes on no matter what, and the best is yet to come. BTS's wish here is for their music to give you comfort and help the beautiful flower bloom into your heart. This is the same imagery that we saw back in I Need You, but after many years this symbolism is coming back, because during PTD on stage, the flower finally bloomed at the end of Fake Love. Now this is very important, I think, because the flower symbolism might actually be coming back in proof as well. As I mentioned earlier, this album is going to be an anthology, and this is a word that comes from ancient Greek that literally translates into the act of gathering flowers. An anthology is none other than a collection of flowers, and in antiquity these flowers were actually the symbol of the delicate feelings that only small poems could convey. If we apply the same concept to the comeback, then Proof may be seen as a collection where each song is a flower carefully chosen to represent BTS's eternal journey. As Namjoon foreshadowed, the spring that we were waiting for is finally coming, and by the looks of it, many more flowers will bloom, both in the album and in ARMY's hearts. This might also be confirmed by the mysterious Instagram account called Flower Smeraldo, which suddenly appeared back in April, foreshadowing the possible return of the most beautiful moments in life storyline. If we take a look at the account, for instance, the name obviously refers to the Smeraldo flower, which is the fictional flower featured in the Bangtan universe that is also connected to the fairy tale told in The Truth Untold. In the storyline, Jin's quest to find this flower leads him to a florist called Testesso, which is a name that in Italian actually means yourself. In the lore, Testesso has a blog that narrates his personal life as well as the origins of the Smeraldo flower, and in the story is the owner of the flower truck that also appears in the reels as well. I'm telling you all this because in the account the Korean writing translates into flower truck, meaning that in this page they are basically advertising the flower truck of yourself. This might be a clue hinting at the anthology, but it could also foreshadow the comeback of the story itself, because once we open the photos, we see a reference to the sea and the date May 22nd. Now this is interesting because in the notes, May 22nd is a very important date that also refers to a trip to the beach that takes place after the characters reunite. This is an episode also portrayed in the chapter called The Most Beautiful Day in Our Lives, so even if we don't know what's this about, keep your eyes open on May 22nd because you never know. To see how things will play out, however, we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye!